NBC was caught lying about the reception that JD Vance got at the Olympic opening ceremonies. This is what they broadcast on live TV.
In an individual sport, what an honor for her.
There is the Vice President JD Vance and his wife Usha. Ooh, those are not, those are a lot of boos for him. Whistling, jeering, some applause.
Whistling, jeering, some applause. They made it sound like the entire stadium was booing and barely any respect was paid towards the Vice President of the United States. And I didn't really hear that. It didn't sound like there was a lot of booing. In fact, I heard cheers going on in the background. And unfortunately for NBC, we have this new invention. It's called the smartphone, and everyone has one. And especially at huge events like the opening ceremonies for the Olympics, there are people live streaming this to their Facebook accounts, maybe here on YouTube, and you can just go online and see footage from this exact moment. This is what it actually looked like in real life.
United States of America.
As you could see there, it was the exact same moment as what they broadcast on NBC. You saw the screens, the big jumbotrons in the arena show JD Vance and his wife Usha, and the crowd was still cheering. Now, to be fair, you did hear some boos, but to me it was more of a scattered smattering of boos. It's not as if that was the overwhelming response, but that's what they made it sound like on NBC. In fact, one of the people viewing was live streaming this to her Facebook, and you could hear her booing as well as some of the people around her, but the overwhelming sound that I got were cheers for Team USA and JD Vance. Again, you can hear the claps, you can hear the cheers in the background, and I think you would get that with any world leader. No one is going to have 100% approval, and especially overseas where the media, quite frankly, they just run with the narratives that they get from the Associated Press or networks that have international reach like CNN, so it's no wonder that things would be divided overseas. Heck, they're divided here at home. Now, if you actually go back and watch the NBC clip, it's really clear to me that this reporter had a preconceived narrative that she wanted to push, because she immediately goes, oop, before you even have a chance to hear whether the crowd's reaction is going to change when the Jumbotron does show JD Vance. And, you know, she pauses to listen for a few seconds, but she continues going on and saying that anyways, even though the evidence does not support her claim, which was making it sound like the entire world is booing the United States and booing this administration. That's just not what we saw from, you know, crowdsourced social media posts. So with all of that being said, the stadium's reaction to JD Vance doesn't bother me at all. But what does bother me are many of the athletes representing Team USA, especially those on the freestyle skiing team. Let's take a look at what Hunter Hess had to say.
It brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now, I think. It's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't. If it aligns with my moral values, I feel like I'm representing it. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S. So yeah, I just kind of want to do it for my friends and my family and the people that support me getting here.
Bro, if you are wearing the flag, if you are representing the country abroad, I don't think that you should be bad-mouthing the country on foreign soil. That is just not a good look. It's not patriotic. To me, it brings shame to the entire event, and it's something that, like, you shouldn't want to do as an athlete representing the country. Why are you even bringing politics into it in the first place? And I get that the media is asking you questions, but hey, guess what? You don't have to answer every single question, and you could have actually been a lot more tactful in your answer. You could have said, hey, I want to focus on the sport. I want to focus on the dedication and the training we've done. I want to thank the country for allowing me to do this, for giving me the privilege of representing the country. And hey, in a country that gives you the opportunity to train, to get access to the best coaches, the best equipment, the best courses, and you're going to go abroad on foreign soil and just badmouth the country because you don't politically agree with this administration, that is the height of privilege right there. And unfortunately, it's not just Hunter Hess. This appears to be prevalent among all the athletes, but especially, again, in the freestyle skiing team. This is one of his teammates, Chris Lillis.
I feel heartbroken about what's happened in the United States when, I'm pretty sure you're referencing ICE and some of the protests and things like that. I think that as a country, we need to focus on respecting everybody's rights and making sure that we're treating our citizens as well as anybody with love and respect. And I hope that when people look at athletes compete in the Olympics, they realize that that's the America that we're trying to represent.
Now look, I get that we have freedom of speech, and like I've said many times on the channel, at the end of the day, freedom of speech is really freedom of thought. You have the freedom to think what you want about any administration. You can criticize the administration, but it's more like a marriage, right? When you have problems with your marriage, a disagreement with your spouse, you don't air your dirty laundry for the world to see. You don't run to your local news outlet to say, hey, this is what my spouse did. No, those are things that you resolve at home behind closed doors. At least that's what you're supposed to do in a healthy relationship. And so if these athletes have issues with what's going on in the country, guess what? Take care of it here at home. Vote, be an activist, contact your representatives. But instead what they're doing is they're airing that dirty laundry for the press on foreign soil. I mean, I think that's really gross. They could be talking about their accomplishments. They could be talking about the sport. The Olympics are supposed to bring us all together, not just as a country, but quite frankly, as mankind. You should be rooting for your team, for your country, and we should be, doing this, good sportsmanship across borders, no matter what. Instead, they're poisoning the well. They're talking about how it's a shame to wear the American flag and represent the country. There aren't Republican athletes and Democrat athletes. At the end of the day, we're all rooting for you guys. And so don't be, trying to be divisive. Don't be trying to tear down the country when you're abroad. That brings shame to you. And quite frankly, to the rest of us. It's not a good look. It's not cute. And you're not doing the activism, athletes, that I think you think you're doing. I mean, let's just rewind a few years ago. This is the reaction of Tamyra Mensah-Stock when she was asked about representing the United States.
How does it feel to represent your country like this?
It feels amazing. I love representing the U.S. I freaking love living there. I love it, and I'm so happy I get to represent USA!
That is what we want. That is what we deserve from our athletes. And as you saw in the background, that was Tokyo 2020. Don't forget that Tokyo 2020 was actually delayed because of COVID. So that for sure actually happened after the George Floyd riots. And the reason I bring that up, well, she's female, she's black, and, the Democrats push the narrative that Republicans are racist, Republicans are sexist. And here you have someone who checks off two of those minority boxes, the boxes that liberals say are oh so oppressed in the country. And she's so excited. She is so proud, and you can tell grateful and thankful to represent the country. Yet here you have two skiers who, have nothing but negative things to say. It is such a stark difference. And it's funny how those with the most privilege tend to be the most sour, and those who usually go through adversity are the ones really thankful for the country, really thankful for what America has offered them and their families. Now, what makes matters worse is that those who were bashing the country actually met with JD Vance, and JD had nothing but nice things to say to all of them. But before we get to that, I would like to thank the members of today's Governors Club. They are Bama Queen 777, Super Roamer, and Lizzie Tom. These are people who give tips and super thanks to the channel. I'm glad that you enjoy, and I'm glad that you're here. Well, JD Vance was talking about the trip going overseas, and he spoke with the athletes for a few minutes before taking a photo with them, and then obviously he met with many of them one-on-one just to offer words of encouragement. And so compared to this, to what you heard from the athletes prior.
So, first of all, my wife, our wonderful second lady, is not a sports fan, but every 2 years, she obsessively makes us watch the Olympics. And that's been true since the moment I started dating her, because this is one of the few things that unites the entire country. And if you can get a person who's not a big fan of sports to obsessively watch the Olympics, you know that it's a very special thing. You can tell by the ratings from the Olympics, you can tell by the fact that it really brings the country together. Everybody is rooting for you guys and everybody's cheering for you. We're so excited to be here. This has been the highlight of my time as Vice President, to get to come, to bring my family, to root for the Olympic team. But let me just say personally, like, I'm amazed by the combination of excellence, sacrifice, and so I hope that you guys enjoy it, because, you know, this moment, think about this, guys. This moment is born of a lot of sacrifices from you, from your families, from coaches, from teammates, from people who've made it possible to be here. I hope you just soak it all in. I hope you win as many medals as possible. Most of all, I just hope you enjoy the experience. The whole country, Democrat, Republican, Independent, we're all rooting for you and we're cheering for you, and we're going to make us proud. So thank you all, and hope you guys have fun.
Notice how he completely put politics aside. He didn't bring up policy. He didn't bring up anything that could have been remotely divisive. Instead, it was just encouraging words. He was trying to be inspirational and talking about the universal truth, which is, yes, the Olympics were created and they are meant to bring us together, to help us, you know, just marvel and respect the athleticism of these athletes, and then the pride that it brings the entire nation. I mean, come on, we should all be proud when these athletes bring home gold, silver, and bronze medals. They really are for all of us. And so if we're proud for them, why can't they be proud for us? It is the simplest thing to ask for. So really, shame on them. They should know better, but hey, that's what a life of privilege brings you. As always, though, all of this is just my analysis and commentary. That's what's happening in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So which Winter Olympic sport are you looking forward to the most? Let me know down in the comments below. For me personally, I've always loved women's figure skating. It's something I grew up rooting for, all of the athletes. And then this year, there were a few male figure skaters, especially European ones, that are making a lot of waves, potentially going to be some historic performances. So those stories I've been tracking, and I'm looking forward to potentially backflips, which, you know, weren't even previously allowed in figure skating, and now they're just doing them. It's crazy athleticism. Talk about the quad strength and the coordination and just balance to be able to do that. It's something that, quite frankly, especially if you've ever ice skated before, whether for hockey or anything else, it's just impressive as athleticism. So let me know what you're looking forward to down in the comments below. If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.